And so, it begins. Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shivering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one Murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Boo Please, the special Halloween edition. Yes, you no doubt saw what I did there. It was a pun of the highest quality. Something you cannot be expected to match with your puny brains. Yeah. It's the 30th of October 2009. What we got coming up for you in the show today? We've got stuff and things and fabulous prizes. Well, there's no prizes. The prize is to listen to me for an hour and a half, and that should be reward enough for all of you. I seem to have trouble fitting my head through the door. What do we got coming up for you in the show today? I shall tell you. I'll be benevolent for you. We're talking about the Looking for Group system, the new Looking for Group system. Pitfalls, possibly. And yet more smoke and mirrors. Yet more players that don't see the wood for the trees. Talking about that a little bit later on. Also, the race change. Is it in fact a cash grab too far? We shall analyze Blizzard's history of trying to take your money for silly things and see whether or not this is the most brazen. The answer is yes. But first, we'll also have the mailbag, whereby we delve into it. Yes, we go in. We take our rope, and we take all of our climbing safety gear, and we delve into the mailbag to find things. But that's not coming up quite yet. Also, the Shade of Iran, a retrospective. I love that fight, and I want to tell you why. And to cap off the show, your chance to contribute, as always, it's the illusion of choice. Yes, the illusion of choice, folks. You can email themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. For your chance to contribute to the show, send a topic. If it's good, I'll pick it. If it's not, I'll ignore it and forever discard it by the wayside. Then it shall end up in some kind of vice, no doubt. Not an actual literal vice. Things of ill repute. Perhaps living off the streets. It'll be horrendous. And I suppose you can blame me for that, but then I will not care. It's nice to be morally unapproachable. It's all like the kind of morally unapproachable you'd be if you had the moral equivalent of incredibly bad body odor. Or leprosy. That works too. Morally unapproachable in that respect. No one's going to tell you that what you're doing is immoral because they don't want to stand within 20 feet of you. Simple as that. Right. Okay. I suppose you want a show. I suppose. Is that what you're after? Your expectations. How entitled you all are. You know what I could be doing right now? I could be playing Borderlands. In fact, I'm going to be spending the entire weekend playing Borderlands, and if any one of you gets in my way, you shall be smiteth, verily. Yes. I'm told by the RP crew from Essence of RP that that is in fact possible, and that sufficient uses of the word verily will create some kind of time-space continuum anomaly, which blasts lasers and stuff. At least that's the only real cool explanation for RPing, I guess. I can't think of a good one. Let's face it, if you can't conjure the death of the universe, then why even bother? I'm babbling, aren't I? Yes, you can tell how much I want to get into Borderlands. I want to play Borderlands. You're stopping me from playing Borderlands, which means I'm very angry with a lot of you. It annoys me. Yes. If you are not already in the IRC channel, where I can express my anger to you more directly, then head over to irc.mmoirc.com, hash or pound, WoW Radio, or click the chat button on the top of the screen if you're a computer Luddite, as opposed to a regular Luddite. Just a computer Luddite. You like all the other tech. Maybe you have an iPod, or perhaps you prance around with some kind of new smartphone, but when it comes to computers and MIRC, oh no, you hide away in your cave. Go to wcradio.com, click the chat button at the top of the screen. That will give you an easy-to-use Java applet. And if you can't use that, well, you're an idiot. And I don't want to talk to you anyway. No Cake News coming up later in the show. Yes, it is. Live Ask the Murlocs, since for some reason you guys seem to like it. Yes. 3 minutes of complete mayhem, most likely. Assuming my voice holds up. It's not doing that well this week, as you might have noticed. It's just a little bit rough. Busy week, folks. Busy week. Right, that's quite enough of that nonsense. It's time for this.
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag
my tail.
When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, indeed, folks, it is mail time. It's the time where I read the mail, and I may do so in song if you annoy me. That is a threat. That is a threat. And some people, I suppose, might like it, but then again, they're weird. What else have we got? Interesting. Okay. Here's a quick one from Garrett Wheeler, also known as Antropine. He says this. To F, I was like in IRC talking about wows, and you're like ban. You apparently retarded dude wah. So this guy sent me a PM. And the PM went something along the lines of, hey, do you ever get zits on your wang? If so, does it hurt when you pop them? FYI, this is Blue Please, not the advice column of the Daily Sport. I have no interest whatsoever in your sexual health dilemmas. No other person on the planet does either, that I can guarantee. You are fortunate, of course, that no woman will go within 20 yards of you anyway, so to be honest, who cares what it looks like? Yes, you are banned for that. Off you go. It seems to be an advice column week this week. I swear. Seriously. I've had a couple of emails in where people have been asking advice. Here's one. It's from the Lonesome Warrior. I'm pretty sure that's not his real name. Hello, my friend. Oh, this starts like a Nigerian scam email. Are you going to tell me that I've got some kind of crazy Nigerian prince who is on the run from the evil dictatorship of Nigeria, which I assume probably doesn't have an evil dictatorship, but whatever. And he is willing to place $65 million in my bank account. Yes, he is willing. All I have to do is hand over all my financial information, plus passwords to my Gmail and my WoW account. Well, what a tempting offer. Anyway, what he really says is this. I absolutely love your show and wanted your honest advice about interacting with a new guild. I just transferred my tune to a new server with a new guild and some RL friends. However, the established core of the new guild has yet to warm up to me. I feel like the classic friend of a friend guildie that's merely an observer rather than a member. I'm a pretty decent warrior tank and I offer the tank whenever I can, but my LFM in guild chat seems to be ignored on a daily basis. How do I get more involved in the guild and get them to accept me? Well, for one thing, you can stop forcing yourself on them. The fact of the matter is, you feel like a friend of a friend because you are really a friend of a friend. You know, by all rights. I don't know why people ask me for advice when it comes to socially interacting with other people. When it comes to guilds, I'm one of the most antisocial people you can imagine. You know how many guilds I've either left or been kicked out of? Tons. I can't remember how many. I annoy people. Mainly because I speak my mind to the point where people don't like that. Yeah, he's being mean and causing drama. Go away. If you can't deal with the honest criticism and you can't deal with someone speaking their mind, then it's not a guild I want to be a part of. Hence the reason I've quit like 20 of them. Creating my own guild. Yes. I can be as antisocial as I want in there. I don't really see any way you can, to be honest, other than be there for a while, don't do anything to annoy people, and eventually you'll be accepted. It's as simple as that. If you were just let into a guild in terms of, here, have this invite, as opposed to, we are bringing you in for the sole reason of raiding with us in this group, then, yeah, you're going to be in a problem situation. There are limited raid spots, there are limited group spots, and generally speaking, in a well-established guild, you will also find there are cliques. Yes, indeed, cliques. These cliques consist of the established raiding corps, and can you blame them? Let's be honest. The vast majority of people you interact with in World of Warcraft are blithering idiots. In the most literal of senses. Literally, they blither. All the time. I hate them. And everyone else does too. So, when you find a group of people that don't suck, you become very insular. You use them more as a security blanket than anything else. Thereby, people who are involved in that sort of group are going to be defensive of that group. They don't necessarily want new people. They may accept new people eventually, but only upon coming to their own conclusions about your personality and whether or not you're a good fit. You can't really do anything to accelerate that process other than not piss them off. It's not that hard, really. Just don't annoy them. Get involved in groups when available. If there's a group going, hey, we need a tank, offer your services. Don't say, don't start the group, have someone else do it. Because if there are no other tanks, then they're going to have to take you anyway, and then they'll soon realise that you're a reasonable person. Alternatively, of course, you might not be a reasonable person. I can't judge your personality from a 3-line email. So it might be that everybody hates you because you're a douchebag. Now, I don't know whether or not that's the case, but, it's a possibility. I'm getting loads of emails from Garrett Wheeler. He has to sort of realise that I actually don't care. I will never show my mum this show. Why did you use my real name? All I can say to you, Mr. Garrett Wheeler, is that you may not wish to continue to email you lest I give out your email address on the show. Let's be honest here. And then I'm sure there will be a ton of listeners who will be more than happy to help you with your phallus problem, let's put it that way. I'm sure they'll be able to give advice on what to do with it. Alright, what else have we got? Here's one. It's from Shadow Steps. He's level 80 Shadow Priest on Turelion EU, the guild WTB Skill. He says this, hey TB, for a long time I was in a raiding guild. We were raiding TOC 25, 5 out of 5, and Old Warp to Yogon 10. Content gap much? I got bored of us farming old stuff and not trying the new, e.g. we tried Yog twice, so a band of me and friends quit the guild. One quits WoW, some get into the second best guild in the server, and I don't look like Shadow DPS are actually needed, so I start my own guild. The thing is, no one will join the guild that is just starting, even guildless people will just poke to get their gear, so my question is, how should I go about this? I have put in an application to a guild called Crazy Fools now, so the project is mainly over, however, so shout out to them. Okay, firstly, never join any guild that's called Crazy Fools spelt with a K. Indeed, I passed a travel agent today, and I noticed a flight to California, which seemed like a pretty reasonable price. However, California was spelt with a K. So I must say that my confidence in whether or not they're going to be able to get me there without, say, the wings falling off the plane is rather limited. So that will not be a company that I decide to take a holiday with anytime soon. And indeed, any guild that spells it with a K, unless they are being deliberately ironic, is not, by any stretch of the imagination, something that I would look into joining. However, shout out to them nonetheless. Prejudging for the win. How do you get people to join the guild? Well, generally speaking, you've got to offer something that the other guilds don't, because otherwise you're going to end up getting the dregs. The best way is to recruit cross-server and have some kind of, not so much a gimmick, but have a reason for people to actually join. Hey, you're a Shadow Priest in a random guild with no one else in it. Who's going to join that? Basically nobody. If you've got a bunch of experience and you can present yourself as a good leader that people have confidence in, then yeah, people will join then. But you do need to recruit in trade chat, you need to recruit in the forums, and I know people are going to come down at me and say, that's not what trade chat's for. Yeah, well, the problem is that looking for guild is never used by anybody. Obviously, a new system is required in terms of that. It's funny, apparently they can put in a new looking for group system, but looking for guild board of some description on the realm, i.e. inside the game, with some kind of in-game application processes outside of the realms of possibility? Heh, okay. Until that time, trade chat is going to get spammed. So, my only advice to someone starting up a new guild is, for God's sake, have a reason for people to join. Don't be just like, oh, we're a new guild and we might go raid this. Yeah, you might, but like most guilds, you probably fail. I mean, let's be honest here. The vast majority of guilds like that fail at the first hurdle. They don't even manage to get enough members, so why would people bother with it? Get some friends, get a raiding call with friends, and then recruit extras on top of that. It's much easier to say, right, we are a 10-man guild, we've got 9 players covering all the bases, we've got enough tanks, we've got enough healers, we've got enough DPS, we want a couple of extras, and we're going to start raiding any day now, and this is our pedigree. That's easy than saying, I am a one-man guild and I'm looking for 9 people. Good luck ever recruiting anyone that's not a complete and total reject to go into a guild like that. Not going to happen, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. It is the Halloween episode, so we must play songs with Ghost in the title. It's not really Halloween themed, but it'll do anyway. Ghost Division by Sabaton. I'll be back after this. Enjoy.